This is the OTP. I'm Amie Wells. The Tennessee Titans are finally getting ready to play a game at Nissan Stadium. Week 2 brings everybody home to take on the Los Angeles Rams. So, of course, Titans Radio's Will Boling is here to talk all about it. Will, you were actually in Denver for the Week 1 matchup against the Broncos. So I want to talk about that just a little bit, just kind of bump on it for a second. But how excited are you to play a game at Nissan Stadium? Bring them back home.
100 out of 10, ready to go. Glad to be breathing thicker air as well, because I learned how out of shape I was at the altitude. No, so excited. I know so many fans are excited to see Cam Ward play football in person. I know I was blown away the first time I saw Cam Ward throw footballs in person. It's something we've gotten used to just watching him and watching this team practice. But many of you who weren't at the open practice, who didn't make it to Titans-Vikings in preseason, this is the first opportunity. And if you were there, it's more than just one drive or two drives of an opportunity. So excited to see this team play in front of this fan base. I think it's going to be packed with Titans fans, and I think it's going to be a fun Sunday.
What was your evaluation of this Titans team and how it looked seeing everything in live action for the first time? Was it what you expected?
I think defensively exceeded my expectations. And just in terms of how the Russian coverage worked together, we saw a glimpse, I think, of what this defense can be this season. And through 19 snaps of L'Jarius Sneed, who's working his way back, through Jeffrey Simmons, and when those guys were on the field together, things were excellent. But even with Daryl Baker getting thrown in at corner and Marcus Harris having to play some spot duty and some different faces in that defense, I thought it looked really, really good. And I thought the turnovers created, that's such a big deal for this football team compared to last season when they were near the bottom of the NFL in turnover margin. So setting up their offense, setting up Cam Ward with short fields, paramount for this football team throughout the season. But there's a lot of talk about how this defense wanted to collapse the pocket and not just rush around the edge, but then give a lane for a quarterback to step up and scramble. And we talked last week about how Bo Nix averaged 21 scramble yards per game last season, almost 500 rushing yards a season ago. So this defense went in with a plan of let's cage Bo Nix in. Let's set the edge. Let's use the interior pressure to make him uncomfortable, get him off his spot. And they did that. And Jeffrey Simmons helps 2 turnovers happen for the first time in a single game in his career. I thought I really liked what this defense was able to do. Offensively, it's going to take some time. It's a process. We saw Cam Ward make a lot of really high-level throws. Just got to get on the same page with his receivers, and that's going to be an ongoing process. But overall, I think this team was about where I expected in Week 1. It's going to look like a work in progress in those timing situations. And defensively, I think there are really high expectations with this defense.
As we head into Week 2, I decided that the best way to kind of organize this, just for my brain, was things I want to see in Week 2 and things that I want to see less of in Week 2.
Sure.
And so that was kind of the way I organized this. There's also a cookie break in between. Thank you, Christy Cookie. We'll get to that later. So where do you want to start with? Things I want to see or things I want to see less of?
Positive. What do we want to see more of?
Things we want to see. The first thing that I want to see is Cam Ward as a game manager. I want to see more of him being able to not only call the offense, which is what any quarterback does, but also creating those plays, those moments where you just go, oh my gosh, look at what he just did. What comes to mind is him kind of avoiding what could have been a catastrophic sack and turning it into this major yardage gain for Tony Pollard early in the first quarter. That's the kind of thing that we can see him do. I want to see more of that. I want to see more of him creating something out of less than ideal circumstances, because I feel like that's really where he shines. He's cool, he's calm, he's collected, he knows what to do, and he has the leadership. He has all those intangibles. Now it's getting the opportunity to do this. So that's the first thing that I want to see more of.
I totally agree. I'm going to be honest. I surprised myself on how excited I got watching that play on the sideline. I genuinely, I let out a loud woo and just turned around and was like, did I just Wow,
Woo?
that reaction just, all right, here we go. Let's
You don't hear
let's walk to
many
the other
woos
side.
on an NFL sideline.
No,
Yeah.
that was one of those just like, oh yeah, I'm working. Anyway, quick sidebar. But no, I think you're exactly right. I think this organization has bought into Cam Ward's ability to create. And they have surrounded him with playmakers that fit that skill set. Tyler Lockett made a career in Seattle out of the second play, like the play within the play with Russell Wilson. They feel like Chikakonkwo, as an explosive athlete at the tight end position, is another player that when the play breaks down, hey, can I just get open and beat the guy closest to me and make a play? And the play he made, too, catching a pass on 3rd and long, short of the sticks, spin move, hits the B button, and is able to reach out and get a first down. That's just glimpses of, I think, what we can see more of. But I think you're exactly right. I think Brian Callahan has a lot of faith and trust in Cam Ward to go ahead and just let loose. And Brian talked about that this week, about how he's got the full complement of the offense. He's got the playbook. He has the freedom to make checks. I wonder how much more tempo can be put into this offense, because the best moments of Cam Ward that we've seen in training camp were 2-minute situational periods where I feel like he's thinking less and doing more. I'm curious how much the Titans feel like they can get that out of him. Now, granted, you have to, sometimes have a lead in order to take more risks like that, where you feel like you can add different dynamics and the defense isn't just teeing off on 3rd and long. And that's something the Titans will want to be in, is more 3rd and medium and 3rd and short. But I totally agree. I'm so excited in what Cam can create, and I think Elikai Manor's a big part of that as well this week. And those two are starting to really connect and understand each other, I think, really well.
I agree with all of that. I also wrote down on my notes, just a little behind the curtain here, all I wrote was Cam makes plays, let's talk.
Sure.
What
Let's
did
talk
I
about
want to
it.
talk about? I have no idea. Something interrupted my thought process, but as you were talking, I looked down and I was like, what were we going to talk about? So, I mean, OT people, let me know what you want to talk about as you watch Cam Ward make plays, because apparently we're going to talk about it. Anyway, another thing I want to see a lot of as the Titans take on the Los Angeles Rams is Jeffrey Simmons, the wrecking ball. You mentioned it earlier that Big Jeff was just playing like we expect Big Jeff to play, but almost the next level up.
Right.
He was doing so many things to just be disruptive and to create some of those turnovers that we saw, which was so great. And I think that when Jeff plays at a high level, it raises everybody else's level of play. He is just that kind of leader for this team, regardless of your position. When he's playing lights out, everybody else rises to that challenge. Did you see that on the sidelines?
Absolutely saw it. I mean, I saw a sack fumble that he created. I saw an interception that was because he pushed Bo Nix off of his spot. Jeffrey Simmons is locked in. Locked in a kind of way that could create a career year. I think if you get 17 games of this version of Jeffrey Simmons, he's got his eye on 10 sacks, and that is a stated goal for him, and I think it's attainable. He also was a wrecking ball against the Los Angeles Rams last time we saw these guys, back in 2021 for a Titans win on Sunday Night Football in SoFi Stadium. So to me, there's a potential big matchup advantage for Jeffrey Simmons against the Rams offensive line, because two of their guards are week to week, according to head coach Sean McVay. Kevin Dotson and Steve Avila both have ankle injuries. Rob Havenstein does too. He's a tackle. But for Jeffrey Simmons, if he's going up against backup guards, advantage Jeffrey Simmons, advantage Tennessee Titans. Heck, when Jeffrey Simmons is going up against starting guards, advantage Jeffrey Simmons. But I really liked what I saw from him, and just the leadership of Jeff. And, you know, he spoke in the locker room to us this week and said, I told Cam Ward to have his back, always. And I think Jeff is enjoying having, A, someone to spar with on offense and practice, and B, someone else to take some of that leadership from him and share that with him a little bit. On the sideline, you just see a really focused and motivated and engaged Jeffrey Simmons, and that's what we've always seen. He is the face of this organization in so many ways. He is motivated to another level this season, and boy, oh boy, the new car that he's driving. He doesn't have that big 18-wheeler. He's in a muscle car that can go a little bit right now. And that can be something for athletes to get used to when they feel like you're literally driving a new car when you lose as much weight. And still not sacrifice the power, that's a tricky thing to do, and it appears that Jeff's done it pretty well.
Yep, changing your body composition is a real thing. I mean, think on a much smaller scale, but when your body changes, no matter what it is, weight loss or working out or whatever, you feel differently in the space a little bit. And athletes, they're just like us. They too have to figure out how to work this body and make it do what they need it to do. And be as productive as they've always been, even when it's shaped a little differently.
Totally. And he was adamant in the preseason saying, I haven't given up anything as a run stopper just to rush the passer more. And so far, so good. I mean, until the defense kind of wore down a little bit in the fourth quarter because so much was asked of them in this football game because of how well the Denver defense played on the other side, they were stopping the run as well. They were limiting the explosive plays. So, Plan A for the Titans looks really good right now on defense. And now it's about complementary football and the offense complementing what the defense is doing and helping them control the flow of a football game.
The last thing that I want to see on Sunday when the Titans take on the Rams is more big plays on special teams.
Yes.
How fun was it to watch the Titans have a dominant, productive special teams group? It was incredible between Chimere Dike and his 71-yard kickoff return and then the recovery from the muffed punt. All of it was just so much fun to watch, but also just the regular moments where everything was functioning the way it's supposed to be and it was working really well. It feels like this team, this core, this group of people under Bones Fossil is doing a remarkable job of like really buying into what this phase of the game means throughout the course of the game. And that has been so much fun to watch. So I want to see more production from that group on Sunday.
And they are having a blast playing special teams. I mean, that is sometimes kind of an oxymoron, like having fun playing special teams. But the Titans have a group of players, and they've been very intentional about retaining and going out and finding a group of players who enjoy special teams. Bryce Oliver is a very good gunner in this league. Him and Van Jefferson both are two weapons within that phase of the game. Mike Brown is someone who provides tremendous value. Jalen Harrell had a career-high 3 special teams tackles in this game. But I talked to Chimere Dike yesterday. You'll hear a little bit of that on our pregame coverage on Titans Countdown on Sunday before the game. And just talking to Titan special teamers about Bones Fossil, I don't think there's a guy who loves special teams more than Bones Fossil.
In the world.
Truly in the entire world.
In the whole world.
And that means something, right? Because that can be a thankless part of a football game, of a team. And for a lot of players, and this starts in college as well, for a lot of players, like that's the thing you do before the team is ready to put you in a starting role. But it feels like a lot of these players are viewing special teams as a starting role, as a way to impact the game. And Dorian Mausi, who comes over for the Minnesota Vikings, and undrafted rookie out of Auburn, who is able to recover that fumble and make that play. And Chimere Dike is a playmaker, though, and I'm really excited to see how he can change things within this team and within this return game. One other note on Joey Slye, too, who scores all the points on Sunday. I was talking to Taylor Zarzer about this. We were talking to some of the specialists, and they said, we have never seen a performance in the entire day of the game like what Joey Slye did. The Denver fans were applauding him in warm-ups.
That's crazy.
He did not miss a single kick. He hit from 67 yards with a ton of room to spare in pregame. The way the kickoff works now, where touchbacks bring you back to the 35, has changed the way Brian Callahan can call football games. And Joey Slye, I'm telling you, the Nissan Stadium record he's already set, including preseason, that might not be safe this year with the leg that he's got, the confidence that he has. It's incredible to watch in person, and especially was at altitude on Sunday.
Yeah, the altitude thing is a whole different ball game. That
gosh.
air is a little bit thinner, and those balls can go a little bit farther.
Yes, they can. Yes, they can. And I learned I'm very out of shape in the process as well.
Well, just a little oxygen. That's all you
right.
need, buddy. We'll get you straight. Is there anything that I left off of that list? Is there anything that you want to to see on Sunday specifically?
Well, I will drop my first nerd nugget of the show today.
Yes, I left a whole spot for you.
Perfect. But just of something I want to see more of Alec Iamander in the downfield passing game, I think is something that I want to see and I like to see. Alec Iamander averaged 18.4 air yards per target. That was the second most among all Week 1 players who were targeted with passes in the National Football League. I think there is major opportunity for Alec Iamander to be a downfield combat catch specialist for this football team. And as much as Cam Ward, we're going to talk about later with another nerd nugget, if you stick around the cookie break, as long as Cam Ward is the quarterback of the Tennessee Titans, he is going to take shots downfield. He is a certified gunslinger by his own admission. And Alec is that guy that's going to be the beneficiary of it to start. I think Chimere Dike has something to say about that as well. I think Calvin Ridley is really motivated to put his best foot forward this weekend as well. But Alec and Cam, watch those two this weekend against an interesting kind of young and experienced Rams secondary as well. I think those two have major potential to be a big 1-2 punch for this team this year.
When you bring Hellman's Creamy Buffalo Chicken Dip to the watch party, you can cheer too loud, or block the TV, or be a couch coach, and no one will eject you from the game. That's a Hail Mayo. Hellman's, the official mayo of the Tennessee Titans. This summer, SeatGeek has your ticket to the best live concerts in Nashville at Nissan Stadium. SeatGeek makes it easy to catch world-conquering tours and high-wattage performances from your favorite artists all summer long. SeatGeek has the best seat, your seat, for an unforgettable summer. From rock royalty to rap superstars, R&B to country, find it all on SeatGeek, the official ticketing partner of Nissan Stadium. It's your summer. Make it count. SeatGeek. Hey Titans fans, with a Kroger Boost membership, you'll score big with double fuel points, free delivery, and lots more. Go to Kroger.com/boost for details. Kroger, the official grocer of the Tennessee Titans. Tighten up. Now back to the OTP. All right, before we get to the things we want to see less of on Sunday, are you ready for a cookie break?
I would love a cookie break.
Yeah, me too.
Fantastic.
Thank you to Christy Cookie for providing us these cookies for our cookie break today. They are... Hang on.
They're now available to us.
There we go. They are chocolate chip flavored.
Oh,
so here's your chocolate chip cookie.
Thank you.
Thank you to Christy Cookie. If you would like a cookie break, don't worry, we can help you. Head on over to ChristyCookie.com and click on corporate gifts if you would like to create a cookie break for your whole company. The holidays are coming, and nothing says Merry Christmas or Happy Hanukkah or Season's Greetings better than a tin of Christy cookies. So create a cookie break for your friends and family, or just buy them and eat them yourself.
That's
we don't
terrific.
judge here. It's good, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feels like a cookie break is a good thing to insert before we talk about some things that need to be improved.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Because when we're talking about making improvements, cookies.
Cookies, this improved my day right now.
Sure, there you go.
It's absolutely perfect. A little bit of toffee in there, too, sets it over the top.
Let Christy Cookie improve your day.
That's right.
There you go. Okay. What are some things you want to see less of? I will go first.
Okay.
The first thing that I would like to see less of is penalties. 13 penalties for 131 yards is too many penalties. It's too many yards, frankly.
Right.
But 13 is too many penalties. Coach Callahan has talked a lot about it. You know, some of them are to be expected. There are some penalties that are just unavoidable.
Right.
By playing hard, playing fast, trying to make a play. Sometimes mistakes happen. You know, every officiating crew calls a game differently. There are going to be penalties in a game. However, some of those were self-inflicted.
Right.
And so those are the ones that you really try to clean up.
Definitely. And I think Brian Callahan was specific, too, in saying, like, the penalties on the perimeter are going to happen. The holding penalties, the pass interferences, the things like that. I think Denard Wilson wants to work with his defensive backs on when to be physical. Physical getting off the line, getting off the ball, but at the top of the route, impacting a player's ability to turn and make a play for the ball is going to be called every time. So I think first and foremost, you start there. The illegal contacts, the defensive holdings, the things like that. Jeffrey Simmons took accountability for his penalty at the end of the game. I mean, granted, I'm on the field. That is a loud environment. It is hard to hear a whistle at the end of a play like that. I have a little bit more sympathy, I imagine, because I was a couple, feet away from it. But still, Jeffrey Simmons, as a veteran on this team, knows that that's not something that he can put himself in position to get called for. If there is a silver lining to all of it, Amie, I think it's the fact that there was not pre-snap operation flags. And that's something that Brian Callahan, I think, took a little bit of solace in, saying, we didn't false start, we didn't have the delay of games, we didn't line up incorrectly with the illegal formations. New special teams rules are still taking some getting used to as well for both teams, but 100%. The self-inflicted negatives, the quote-unquote sins, that was a major, major talking point for this team from the beginning of the offseason program. It's one of those things where you kind of learn what mistakes you make once the lights really come on that you can't really learn in practice. When you don't have the adrenaline, when you don't have the fear of getting hit, when you don't have the extra competitiveness that comes with the regular season. So we hope that that's something that can get ironed out with the adrenaline and the extra nervousness of game one. And this is a young football team. I mean, 21 of the 53-man roster for week 18 last year was on the 53 for this week one game. Wow. I mean, that is a remarkable amount of turnover. 4 rookies started in week one for the first time in Titans history, in the Titans era since 1999. So there are going to be some growing pains expected with having such a young football team, but that's one that certainly has to be minimized going into week 2.
And the expectation is that that number will come down as people, it's a point of emphasis throughout this week, and we guarantee you it's a point of emphasis. But B, everyone kind of settles down a little bit. The nerves come down a little bit. We're coming home, so the crowd's in your favor a little bit more. Right. The atmosphere is not as hostile. Like, there are things that will happen that will bring that number down. So it will hopefully be improving as time goes on. The second thing that I would like to see less of is drops.
Yes.
With a rookie quarterback, drops are especially frustrating, I think. No, and listen, nobody ever wants to drop a ball.
Right.
Like, these are professional athletes who want to do their job and do their job incredibly well. Like, that is just a given. However, when you have a rookie quarterback, it almost feels like it exacerbates any problems that you're already kind of having, because it's like, you want to help him out. You want to build his confidence as well.
It's fair, and Cam Ward was open about it on Wednesday when he spoke to the media and said, I'm never going to get on a receiver for dropping the ball because I'm going to throw a pick. I'm going to make mistakes, even though he hasn't yet thrown a pick. But you're right. Calvin Ridley was really ready to move on, and I think that's the one thing in NFL locker rooms that I've learned the most just being around this team is just how quickly you have to move on. Because 1 week, I mean, after you watch film and kind of go through all of that on Monday, Tuesday, like Wednesday, it's a brand new week, and you just have to keep moving. Otherwise, those mistakes are going to stick in the back of your mind. I think for Cam, there's a lot of communication with his receivers. He was asked, how do you fix a lot of this? And as quickly as things are moving, as quickly as he's throwing the football, how do you fix it? And he just said, extra time after practice. And those guys are on the jugs machine. I mean, I think Tyler Lockett was the last guy off the field at practice on Wednesday, and he didn't have a drop in this game. But going that extra mile to fix all of those things. I think timing is important, and having the full context of each play matters. If it's single high safety and you've got 2 vertical routes, are you throwing to a seam and throwing to a spot to where Cam is expecting a receiver based on certain leverage to cut in or sit on the outside with inside leverage and things like that, that just the best kind of growth in this league comes with experience. I mean, Coach Mack says it 100 times that the only true lesson in this league is experience and live reps. And that's, again, something that you can only do so much of teaching in preseason when you don't have the fear of getting hit and a safety really leaving his feet and hitting you over the middle. So 100%. Some of these can just be, hey, you just dropped the football, right? Some of them are, hey, can the ball placement here, not blaming Cam, but like, can we get on the same page to where you're curving that route in or out a little bit? All of those things I expect to be ironed out in due time.
I like the way you said that. The context of every play is important.
Yeah.
The nuances of what is supposed to be happening there. And we are not privy to those.
Of
those
course.
Things. The
And
context
that can,
of each play is not something
right.
that we always know. We know what we see and
Sure.
what we assume, but we don't know.
And that can change mid-game, too. I mean, like, you have one lineman go out, it maybe changes the comfort level you have in your pocket to where a certain route, you're throwing that ball 0.2 of a second earlier because you just got hit on the previous play, and the receiver turning out of his break doesn't expect it to be. It's such a fragile choreography of a bunch of moving parts to make just one play happen that it's going to take time.
Home is at the forefront of all we do. It's why we're so committed to caring for the places and spaces in which we work and live. Ashley, the official furniture provider of the Tennessee Titans. Genesis is the first and only official jeweler of the Titans, having earned that title since 2006. Titans players, coaches, and fans trust Genesis for the absolute best in selection, quality, customer service, and of course, value. For diamonds, engagement rings, designer fashion jewelry, and the largest selection of luxury pre-owned Rolexes in Tennessee, Genesis is the hands-down winner. Genesis Diamonds in Green Hills and Cool Springs, the official jeweler of the Tennessee Titans. It is time for the Little Caesars Real Deal matchup of the game with our very own Keith Bulluck.
Here's the deal. The matchup I'm looking forward to seeing this weekend is the Tennessee Titans secondary versus Puka Nacua and Davante Adams. Of course, we know L'Jarius Sneed and Jarvis Brownlee Jr. anchor the corners. They're going to have a test for them, but they're going to need the safeties to play a big role as well when catches are made and to eliminate run after catch. Nacua and Adams were targeted 20 of the 28 times last week. Nacua lining up a lot of different places within the formations, receiving 10 of those targets for 130 yards. So you know the secondary of the Titans are going to be very busy this weekend.
Titans fans, get 15% off your Little Caesars order of $15 or more at participating stores using code TITANS15, that is TITANS15, at checkout. Pizza. So Keith Bulluck is talking about Puka Nacua, Davante Adams, what they're able to do against this Titans team, especially that secondary. What about you? What's a matchup that you're looking forward to watching on Sunday?
Mentioned it a little bit earlier. Whoever is on the Rams' interior offensive line against the Titans' defensive line. Jeffrey Simmons looked like a man possessed in Denver. I'd like to see more of that. If it's Kevin Dotson and Steve Avila, if it's backup linemen, younger guys for the Rams, I think that's number one. This Rams run game doesn't get enough credit. And what they're able to do in just a Sean McVay West Coast offense, right? Like a Shanahan system, a McVay kind of system. You talk so much about the explosive pass game and the quarterbacks that run a lot of these systems. It's all built and predicated off of running the football well and what Kyron Williams is able to do and what they do in just setting up play action, bootlegs, and getting Matthew Stafford on the move, I think is a key matchup. So this Titans run defense and Cedric Gray making his first start last week, you felt good about what they were able to do, barring a couple of explosive plays late in the game. But ultimately, I think that's a really fun matchup to watch is the Rams' ability to run the football against the Titans' ability to keep them out of running the football.
So what nerd things do you have? Is there anything on your little notepad
So
that we
much.
didn't get to?
So many nerd things. Let's start with Cam Ward targeting receivers downfield. We talked about the explosive pass game with Elikai Manor. According to Next Gen Stats, Cam Ward targeted receivers 10-plus air yards down the field 42.9% of the time. That's actually the most by a rookie quarterback in their debut since Will Levis against the Falcons in 2023 for the Tennessee Titans. So going deep, window shopping, as he said the night he got drafted by the organization. That was the seventh highest rate in the NFL in terms of 10-plus air yard passes. Jeffrey Simmons, 4 pressures and multiple turnovers for the first time in a single game in his career. So he's never forced multiple turnovers in a game. That happened for the first time. On the Rams, Matthew Stafford, in this game against the Houston Texans that they win 14-9. 17 of 21 against 4 or fewer rushers. He struggled under pressure last season. He had a bad back in preseason. Sean McVay kept putting timelines of he's going to be back this week. He's going to be back this week. He didn't.
He never came back.
Exactly, ever. No, he is back now.
He's back now.
Against 4 or fewer rushers, when he wasn't blitzed, he was excellent. Found Puka Nacua quite a bit. Puka Nacua was used in a different way against the Texans than he was last year. 44% of his snaps were from the slot. That's about double of what he was used in last year. I talked to Roger McCreary about that yesterday, and he just kind of smiled and was like, I'm ready for him. Yep. Absolutely.
Yep. It's the post-Cooper Kupp era.
Exactly right. Very different. And Devontae Adams on the outside as well. We know about him and just heard about him. And then the Rams defensively, they only blitzed 23% of the time against the Houston Texans. But when they blitzed, they got pressure 75% of the time. That was the 4th highest rate in the NFL in week 1. So Chris Shula, that defense, they don't blitz as much as the Broncos did last week. We'll see if that changes, though, because Cam, those were the moments where he struggled against Denver, and understandably so for a rookie quarterback on the road and Mile High. But interested to see how they come after him, and they don't have Darius Williams on the back end at corner. They've got Emmanuel Forbes. They claim off waivers from Washington last year. Their secondary is a little bit of the weak spot, but their pass rush is so good that not a lot of teams can really expose it. So you got to have time to actually throw to get to that secondary. So those are kind of some of the things I'm looking for, some of the nuggets. Titans passing the football down the field. If the Rams blitz a little bit more against a rookie quarterback, just a few of the storylines to watch on Sunday.
That's awesome. I love your little nerd moments.
Thank you.
I think that's great. And I also love coming to Nissan Stadium.
Yes.
I'm excited to get back home, to see a real-life football game for a while. It's going to be great. It is going to be hot, folks, so bring your sunscreen. Make sure you wear a T-shirt. No long sleeves. You'll get too hot. Will, I guess the next stop is Nissan Stadium,
Let's do it.
All right.
Very
let's do
excited.
it. The Titans take on the Los Angeles Rams at Nissan Stadium this Sunday. Kickoff for that game is noon. You do not want to miss it. Titans Radio will be on the air at 11 a.m. Central Time for Titans Countdown. You definitely don't want to miss that. There's all kinds of good stuff in there. And then, of course, Coach Mack, Taylor Zarzer, Rhett Bryan, Will Boling, myself, we will all be there for the actual game on Titans Radio. So for Will Boling, I'm Amie Wells, and this has been the OTP.